All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Pat says he's home.
Hello?
Yeah, it's me again, man.
Hey.
I was just filling in, folks, after you hung up with us. First of all, how was the walk?
It was good. I do about 3 miles every day. Keep in shape, stuff like that. Yeah. Can't ask for more.
And what part of Jersey are you in?
I'm not. I'm in Yardley, which is right across the river, kind of like from Trenton.
Yardley, PA.
Yeah.
It's a nice area, Pat.
It's a great area. We actually, in 2004, I got moved twice. Once to Bucks County and then to Portland, Maine. But we really like this area.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it. I was just filling everybody in on 10 grand in a Coors Light can.
Yeah, I remember that. We would do anything, man. Just do it.
Yeah, that was great because I don't even think you guys had a building. You were doing it all out of the trunks of your car.
Well, we were. I mean, we eventually had a building. But, no, that was fun times. Really fun times. Just so you know, and I caught part of this, when Stern left radio and he left the station that he was on in Portland, someone wanted Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony were never on the station.
Oh, they weren't?
No. It was Stern, and Opie and Anthony went to a competitor, and you guys came to us.
Okay.
And you destroyed them.
Okay.
Just destroyed them in the ratings. And they were pretty big, especially in New England, and because they were out of Worcester.
Right.
At AAF.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You guys just killed them.
God, it all kind of runs together.
Yeah, it does. It's called age.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, how's sweet Donna? Sweet Donna.
Oh, doing well, very well.
Is she taking care of you, or are you taking care of her?
I'm so impressed by the job you've done building your platform on social media, and more impressed by developing the advertisers. Jesus, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was either that or get a real job.
No. That's not for you. Never was.
Yeah, I know, without a doubt. Okay, well, I can't say enough. I love looking back on it. I love it. It's always great, and it's always good to catch up with you from time to time.
Well, I'll tell you this. My most impressive moment with you was one of the Portland live shows, and Greg was having the birth of his first child and was not going to make it. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is not good. And you performed the role of Greg better than anyone would ever expect. You really did.
Oh.
You did.
Yeah, sometimes we had to put on that hat. There had to be somebody to kind of drive the bus,
Exactly, but it was phenomenal. And it was like the show never missed a beat.
You make me blush. You make me blush.
So that was the highlight for me. Because going in, I'm like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm like the guy, you ever know anybody who, they always say he cleans up well?
Yes.
Yes, I can clean it up if someone asks. If I know it's needed, I can do that.
Well, and he did and does a phenomenal job at that. But until you're in that role, you don't know. Right on.
All right. Well, you are the man. Everybody loves you. There's always been a fantastic place in the heart for our guy Pat Collins, and I like getting you on and introducing you to this new audience because of how instrumental you were in the development of the show. Because from its early stages, as it started to proliferate, we needed boots on the ground to advocate, and you were like the guy. If Pat was on it, we knew that we would get plenty of majestic support that was very, very helpful to the growth of the show.
Well, you know, what was funny is that Portland is a great market, but it's pretty small. I mean, I was competing against Green Bay, Nashville. I mean, we're talking NFL franchises. And so I just needed to make you bigger than all of them.
I've got a comment thank you very much. One of our audience members is a guy in Nashville, Tennessee, and he remembers things better than I do. And he wrote, Pat Collins once sent a very nice letter back in the day that Eric reacted horribly to. Now, I don't know what he's talking about. Do you remember this at all?
No, I don't. You know, and I probably don't want to.
No, who knows what it is? It probably is blending real life with show life, which always goes poorly. Always.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you don't want to mix the two. No. Did you ever have any moments where, like, what was it like when you would get the complaint call, or you know that you've got to get into damage control?
I really didn't. I didn't have those moments. You know, the only thing I was ever aware of when Nassau was liquidating and the new company was taking over, there was an FCC complaint on the show. And you were on that part of the show.
Okay.
And you know, you wrote a check for $100,000 and made it go away.
Holy shit. That sounds ridiculous.
But, you know, there was a nasty complaint out of Portland. And for the life of me, I think it was legit. I really do.
Yeah.
But I don't recall what it was.
Aram adds that in the letter that you said to me, that you wrote to me, that I took poorly, the quote is, you had written down, guys, I don't know how you have captured our hearts as well as you have. And apparently I took that as an insult. Oh, that's fantastic.
I think the Portland live shows were just special. I think, you know, the listeners wanted to hear it. And, you know, yeah, maybe I was prompting a lot of the cheering, but it was important to me.
No, those crowds were great. I still have audience on this show that's from Portland, Maine and the surrounding areas who, because of the radio station.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you were embraced and the station embraced you. And when those live shows happened, it was magic. It just was magic. And I remember when we went into the Sports Dome, I just wanted to blow you away. And I brought in this huge stage, had it decorated. It was just, you know, it was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. That dome, is that dome still there?
I don't know. I think it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Pat, good luck to you. Go Lions. I don't know if you're following the Lions or kicking everybody's ass this year.
Well, you know, I'm kind of like on the Giants, but, you know, who knows?
All right. Hey, it's always good catching up.
Take care.
All right, buddy. See ya. The guy's a legend. I love him. Sorry about the audio. I keep misadjusting that mic. I need to, you know, get that taken care of. Sorry about the audio from time to time when that happens. That line, I don't know how you have captured our hearts as well as you have. Chris says, that sounds about right. Eric misunderstanding a compliment. Yeah, I don't think I did. I'm going to double down on that deal. That line should have said, you have captured our hearts and we are so happy. You have captured our hearts and it's no surprise because you're so amazing. If you're going to say something nice, You can't say, I don't know how you captured our hearts. Yeah, I stand by that. It's happening all over again. If you ever compliment somebody, like if I said, like let's say I was only dating Pooh Bear and I wanted to tell her that I love her. If I would have said, I don't know how I fell in love with you, but I did. That's like saying, that's an insult. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. I don't think he meant it as an insult, but, that's like, doing well in school and your mom and dad saying, boy, I don't know how you did so well. Anything like that, that's a negative thing there. That's a pile of shit compliment. You can't say that. Aram says this is exactly what you said 15 years ago. I know, because it's the same. It's correct. Tyler says it's similar. His quote is, I don't know how you capture our hearts because you suck so much shit, but you did it somehow. Yes, exactly. Or Kenny adds, I had such low expectations, but you've managed to capture my heart somehow. Actually, he's not agreeing with me. He writes, hell, I'd take that from someone I was dating as 100% positive. Yeah, but you're kind of a loser. So, when you're that low, you're a downtrodden dope. So, of course you're going to feel that way. I see what you're saying. Everybody knows that you're kind of like very malignant. Yeah. Pat's awesome. Love that guy. But that still was an insult. I don't give a shit what you say. Thank you for bringing that up, Aaron. Because that allowed me to triple down on that deal. Now I remember it. As I was saying the words just now on this, the 13th of December, 2024, it kind of triggered something in my brain. That now I actually do have a recall of that moment. And it was fantastic then. Those are the things that make shows good. Those types of moments. It isn't the interviews. It's those types of off the wall comments. So, no indication that the suspect in the CEO killing that all of you assholes seem to love was ever insured by United Healthcare, according to the NYPD. I even heard Bill Burr with some ridiculous take that is synonymous with what the mob is saying about this. It's many people come just short of saying, I'm glad that guy is dead. All right. They say, I can't say that I support how it was done, but it really is good that he's dead. It's bringing out the worst in people. This murder of this brilliant CEO. And just because you assholes had to pay $5 more for your prescription, you feel like you're a kindred spirit with the rest of the world who's gathered up their pitchforks and their tiki torches and been indicting this poor dude who's dead and his family and anyone else who makes money. Let me be perfectly clear about this. You're stupid. If so many people are insured, how often have you broken an arm? Have you gotten a car wreck? Have you had a baby and you don't pay anything for it? You know why you didn't pay anything for it or very little? It's because insurance companies deny claims. They have to. If they don't, it doesn't work. So this large number of people are not burdened with unbelievable medical costs for something like I just listed. And they survive and they make it through. And that's because brilliant people like Brian Thompson run these companies very well. And then the idea is often said, oh, this should be not for profit. Bullshit, it shouldn't be profit. It should be profit. 1,000,000% it should be profit. Do you think it's easy to run this fucking thing? Bullshit. How do you think it works in the first place? Because it's run as a for-profit. That's why it works. My God. Anyway, dickhead Luigi Mangione that all of you dumbasses seem to love, he didn't even have insurance from these people. He's just a whack. That's all this is. He's crazy. He's Unabomber crazy. And he would have killed again. I believe that. That piece of shit, Bill Burr, is like, he's dogging these big companies that are taking the pictures of their CEOs off of their websites. And yeah, I for the life of me don't understand that take. That's just stupid for him to say something like that. He's lockstep with all the morons who are suggesting that this guy is a hero. Fucking stupid idiots. In an exclusive interview with NBC, New York NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said that Mangione may have targeted Brian Thompson simply due to the fact that he worked for a large company and because he knew the conference was taking place at the hotel that day, which would indicate that he didn't really know who that was. That would mean that he just assumed, possibly, that that person going into the conference was just a person going into the conference. That doesn't even, he may not have even known that that was Brian Thompson. We have no indication that he was ever a client of United Healthcare, but he does make mention that United Healthcare is the 5th largest corporation in America, which would make it the largest healthcare organization in America. So that's possibly why he targeted that company. He was aware, according to our research, that the conference was taking place on that date at that location. In his alleged writings, Mangione wrote about wanting to use a gun to target a CEO of a big corporation like United Healthcare. I think that before, there's been all this talk, even that dumb bitch Kelly on Free Beer and Hot Wings was going on and on about something she has no idea what she's fucking talking about, as to why it's okay that this guy gets shot or whatever the fuck she said. She didn't quite say it that bluntly, but come on. I would love to get any one of those morons in a discussion about this, because all they're doing is grandstanding for the sake of siding with this mob that is going around preaching this bullshit to the masses in hopes to winning favor. That's the easy thing to do. Only a legend like myself would have the balls to stand up for these outstanding companies that insure most of America. I'm the only one. No one else is standing up for these companies. It's me. And that's unbelievable. That's because it's so easy to just throw these people under the bus and make shit up out of thin air about how you think those businesses are run. In his alleged writings, he talked about targeting a CEO of a big corporation. What do? You whack the CEO at the annual. He wrote, what do? You whack the CEO at the annual parasitic bean counter convention. It's targeted, precise, and doesn't risk innocence. Kelly even made the claim that, yeah, it's terrible that he shot that guy and snuffed his life out, but this guy's company goes and snuffs people's lives out every single day. Oh, my God. How embarrassing is that? And then that dumbass was complaining because she pays $5,000 to $6,000 a year in insurance costs, but she doesn't get $5,000 to $6,000 a year in medical procedures or whatever it is she goes to the doctor for. She thinks that that's how insurance works. She thinks it should equal out to zero. It's like, you dumb bitch. All right, if 99 people pay their premiums and no one has anything catastrophic that they need to take care of, and person number 100 gets into a car wreck and is eaten out of a straw for the rest of their fucking life, insurance covers that. You dumb twat. How stupid are you? Thank you to Amanda for sending this article along. I guess this idiot had a back injury and it hurt his feelings. He was injured in an accident, and he showed the image of the hardware that was installed into his back. And he got hurt by that. And because he's fragile and a sensitive Gen Z asshole, he goes and kills a family man who worked very hard for everything he had. Wow. Not even insured by United Health. Just killed him randomly. Son of a bitch. That's fucked. All right, I haven't been looking at the chat for quite some time. But I see Tophus entered. He says hello. Kenny says he does not love the psycho murderer. Chris confirms that was the take that Free Beer and Hot Wings had. Of course it was. I listened to it. Listened to it yesterday. It's fucking stupid. I wish they had somebody who actually was on that show to give them a dissenting viewpoint of common sense. But those are morons. They don't pay attention to anything. And besides, Greg and Chris are rich as fuck. All right? Dofus says something dumb and says the CEO deserved worse, like solitary confinement with his nuts hooked up to a car battery. Well, that's just ridiculous. Rich says they make millions every year, not a single reason to deny anyone. Yeah, I'd have to get in and take a look at the books and take a look at how they run their business, and I don't think I'm going to have that opportunity. That is a very common thing that has been thrown out, that has been tossed around online as to how they do what they do. I don't necessarily know how they run their business. They run it as they see fit. Nate indicates if we took better care of ourselves, the insurance would have never evolved to be where it is. It's not the company. We need the company. It's us. Then Tophus and Chris are getting kind of going back and forth. No big deal. And then Chris is quoting Kenny saying Tophus said he's glad he can't see your bullshit and he hates you. Yeah, Tophus said, can someone tell Kenny I said I miss him and can't wait to see him? Wait a minute. Tophus did not say that to Kenny. Chris, did you just... Hold on a second. Chris wrote to Kenny, Tophus said he's glad he can't see your bullshit and he hates you. That did not happen. He did not say that. Why would you do that? I'm trying to fix this, Chris. I'm trying to bring these two together. You can't make shit up. That is not okay. Kenny, that did not happen. He did not say anything bad about you in any way. Linda is here. She says, Hot Wings is the most undeserving millionaire on earth. Well, that's true. Ben says, Hot Wings was better when Eric was on the show, not only as the punching bag, but also with jokes back and forth with Eric. Absolutely. I'm loving Cylon _Cyberman71. He references steel toe drama. I'm not entirely sure what that means because I don't watch that show. But what that tells me with that reference is that Cylon _Cyberman71 is from the Who Are These Podcasts / Who Are These Broadcasters universe. And that makes me happy. That means that my appearances on those shows is drawing a new person here. And I appreciate that. He is referencing the Steel Toe Morning Show on YouTube, hosted by Aaron Imholt out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. To give you all of the backstory of him would be a long, drawn-out story that would be not so interesting. So I will turn that down. Showbro Michael, 91, says, I used to watch Steel Toe. All right, I'll tell it. Steel Toe was on the radio at a radio station in St. Cloud. In fact, we were on the radio station in St. Cloud at the time. Steel Toe was, he would go on the radio and talk shit about us. Like, who is this guy? Local yokel. We didn't give a shit. Ultimately, he got fired. He got fired in the weirdest way possible. He went on a social media tirade about a woman in radio that I guess at one point worked in St. Cloud, and she got a job in another state at another radio station. Hang on a second. And he didn't like her, so he went on this really wild tirade saying terrible things about her, and it was so bad that the radio company he worked for, though they were so affected by the bullying that they fired him. He started doing the daily Steel Toe Morning Show, not that different than this. The one difference would be he would try, instead of like getting sponsors, he's every single show, he would get you to give money. And he still does this. So similar to when I'm like asking you to raise money for the Great Food Giveaway, he's asking people for money through what's called Super Chats or PayPal or whatever the fuck to pay him. And every show, he had a goal of like a few $100s. And so that was the model. Every single day, do a show. And then he would, like how when I stop and I talk about my sponsors, he would talk about, hey, you got to donate to me to keep the show going. And it was bad, really bad. Still does it to this day. That's what he's doing. Now, I had forgotten about him and didn't know anything about this. And then I'm talking to Carl. And Carl references him, and he's friends with him. I go, oh, wow, maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. I've never talked to him. And we did a show. I did a show with Carl, and he was on it, and he seemed fine. I knew that he did his show that way, and I wouldn't do it. But if you're okay by Carl, you're okay by me, in my opinion. I mean, that's, I trust his sensibility. Well, that worked out, I guess, until it didn't, because then Carl starts talking shit about him, and it got ugly. It's still ugly. And so I'm like, well, fuck, easy come, easy go. I never really was in bed with a guy in the first place at all. I just knew of him. But I defer to Carl. if Carl says somebody's a piece of shit, I always, yeah, I agree with you. However, I had to convince him to hate on Zumach. That took for fucking ever. It took way too long. I knew Zumach was retarded before anybody. Actually, I take it back. The first time Zumach was on Carl's show, everybody on the subreddit, the WATP subreddit, hated him. So I listened to the show and I hated him. And that's how that started. And then a few months after that, Carl eventually jumped in and started hating on Zumach. And that's it. Cylon says, I heard things from Mersh. I've heard that name, but I couldn't tell you who that is. I participate on the shows, but I don't know any of that shit that's going on with the who said what on any of these shows. I don't have time to pay attention to any of these shows. I barely have time to pay attention to my shows. So we're kind of combining audience members, and I love that. That makes me feel good. Aram says, I am still skeptical that Hot Wings had die-hard fans of what Hot Wings thinks. I don't believe anyone wanted to hear those. Yeah, they were shitty. They're not good now with the his hot takes. They're just bad. Everything about it kind of stinks. No one in that show has any type of internal sensibility as to what is actually good. There's no discernment, which I've used that word a lot on Who Are These Free Beers. I just got it. It just popped into my brain. Sweet Ben Glaze sent me a text. Sorry. On the Segment 18 Facebook page, which is a fan page for Free Beer and Hot Wings. Someone wrote, this year for the 2-week best of during the holiday break-in, it should be the best of Free Beer word scrambles. Just 2 weeks of segments featuring word scrambles. Dwayne wrote, so what you're saying is to play Eric Zane's Who Are These Free Beers? So that was just a screenshot. So by now, there's probably all sorts of horrible comments of about people saying that I'm an asshole, or perhaps that's me actually making that post. Not to steal the thunder from this week's Who Are These Free Beers, but this is the current up-to-date word scramble supercut, as talked about right there, from Free Beer, who is fucking horrible and can't speak English.
They were innocuous interactions and answers questions that your children or children would often know. When can we see the baby? Where it comes from?
Okay, let me start this over, because I need to break these down one at a time.
They were innocuous interactions.
They were innocuous interactions. There's that letter U tripping him up again. They were innocuous interactions. I think he's looking for innocuous. Extra R in there.
And answers questions that your children or children would often know.
And answers question that your children or children would often know. I think the staggering thing about Free Beer's fucked up word scrambles and murdering words and whatever, and adding words and adding letters, is when he does it, he doesn't go, what the fuck was that? He's not hearing it. Like if I said to you, hey, I really love all of my listeners and listeners, I would go, wait a minute, what was that? I would hear it. I would pause. He doesn't hear these things.
When can we see the baby?
When can we see the baby?
Where it comes from.
Where it comes from. When can we see the baby? Where it comes from. Ugh.
Twins are in second grade. They have not prevented me with any.
The twins are in second grade. They have not prevented me with, I think he means presented.
Any homework that would send me for a loop?
Any homework that would send me for a loop. He means throw me for a loop.
I want to hear about someone else's misery. You have a lot of admiration for pretty male swords?
That's a real one. He says swords. This fucking idiot, if he has SWORDS in front of him, he's going to say swords.
Dog feces? Feces? I love that Free Beer trashed Yellowstone.
Might be a T in that word.
Like when you type in Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, missing an R.
Yeah, all of my kids were potty gramed.
Yeah, one too many R's. And a G. You want to take that G out and put the T there. That's what you want to do.
Tic-tac.
Definitely TikTok.
Celery and wet bread.
It's celery. Celery is the vegetable, not a salary. That's what you gave half of to your ex-wife.
Regularly, for real, dislodges enough about the RV.
And that last one was featured at length in the latest edition of Who Are These Free Beers? Aram says, for the word experiment, he has always said experiment. There was another one I wrote down. The word benounced, like unknown benounced to me, I can't jizz. That's using it in a sentence. And it's spelled UNBEKNOWN, benounced, ST, benounced, unbeknownst. Idiot says unbeknownst. No, I'm sorry. It's I fucked it up. It's unbeknownst to me. That's because that's how you say known. KNOWN. The root word is known. He says unbeknownst. Like there's no, like NOW. God, I can't even do it. All right. Yeah, so I said it wrong. That's the way he says it. I fucked myself up there. It's embarrassing. All right. Let's see. Now I'm going to save that Reddit thread. Chris writes, other way around. God, I'm a dumbass. But he truly does say unbeknownst. It's unbeknownst. I'm building a montage of times that he says it. You'll hear it later. All right. Thank you to King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. They're awesome. You got locations, Caledonia, Northland Drive, 821 36th Street. Get a haircut from King's Room. For more than 50 years, cutting hair for kings. And sometimes chicks with short hair. A haircut is going to set you back $19. Go to kingsroom.net if you want to get a haircut. I'd like to also thank Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 616-532-6600. You know what? Before I say another word, oh my God. Chris P. just sent along a fantastic donation. Chris in Buffalo. We are now down, ladies and gentlemen, to $270 remaining. Just north of 40 people have donated. And considering the fact that we needed $3,634 raised, and we've raised all of that except for $270. There's only a handful of minutes left in this show. If you have not been able to send it along, if you could just throw $5 or $10 in our bucket right now, that would be sensational and help us reach our goal. I will repost it in the comments. There you go. Venmo at Eric-Zaitunian. And PayPal at Eric Zane Show. Jeremy with the comment. I guess Kenny says, do you still call Rick on Fridays or no? Yeah, I called him last week. Or maybe the week before. Now, of course, I still talk to Rick. Anyway, $270 remaining. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just a handful of bucks. That's all I ask. Don't break the bank. You won't even notice it. And there we go. Thank you. Where was I? Oh, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Online at irvines.com. Servicing all makes and models, all hybrids, all EVs. Thank you so much. They have a free loaner car program that is second to none. So when you schedule your appointment, when you drop off your car, they give you a car. You drive that around. It's awesome. And then you bring it back. Your car is repaired. You're good to go. A lot of the times, like when one of my rigs break down, like when the truck broke down, I just had it towed to Irvine's. When the Accord broke down, which we ended up scrapping, I just had it towed to Irvine's. Okay? That's what you do. They take care of everything for you. ervines.com, a trusted place to get your cars repaired. Right in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's worth the ride to get your car serviced at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Chris writes, we will have the Great Food Giveaway funding done by the end of the weekend. I believe that too. I will keep you updated. All right, real quick, before I wrap this thing up. Joe Martinez over at A&E Heating and Cooling. He's kind of under the weather right now. He's experiencing medical issue, but thank God he's got insurance. That's right. aeheatingcooling.net. You can find them at 616-516-8579. 616-516-8579. Get your furnace replaced. Get your furnace serviced from A&E Heating and Cooling. And they can even do an after-hours service call. If the shit hits the fan at 2 in the morning, they will do that. You might have to pay a little more for that, but that's the way it goes. And finally, let's check in with Rick from TC Paintball and see what's going on in his world. I'll see if I can make the phone work appropriately this time. Sorry. Fuck. He bailed. He can't take the call. Sorry. I know you guys are all dying to hear from him. TC Paintball online at tcpaintballgr.com. Book an event today for you or your crew. tcpaintballgr.com. Might be your pals. Could be a bachelor party, workplace team building, the kids. There you go. Get after it at TC Paintball. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. We are looking for the asshole of the day. Yesterday, it was the Ohio flag planting congressman asshole who's trying to make it a felony to exercise your right to free speech. So stupid. God, did I hate that. Tophus says Rick is bragging about having opposable thumbs while punching a schnauzer. Kenny writes, Rick does not abuse his dogs. Y'all, come on. So there continues to be some dissension amongst the folks. I'll let everybody sort that out. I am above that. All right. The asshole of the day. I don't know. Hold on a second. Bruce, quit. Do we have an asshole of the day? I couldn't even tell you what I talked about today. the rule of thumb here on this show is if you can't figure out who the asshole of the day is, the best thing to do is make it blank. That's right. Free Beer is the asshole of the day because I guarantee you he's done something asshole-ish. All right. That is my time. As usual, you were outstanding. Thank you to all of you. And I will talk to you a little bit later on the Patreon bonus podcast. Till then, have a good one, folks, and bye-bye.